Wow. Week. How do I do it? 5 and 3. Let's see. Can I count? Yay! It is week 8. And it is the day after Thanksgiving in the RL, in the real world, in the world of which I'm recording. And yeah, it's a holiday after a holiday. Many people doing various stuff today. It's so funny to read some of. I do read my Facebook once in a while, although I have to say I'm much less likely to. But when I do, I see a variety of people doing a variety of stuff today. So that's good. I went and worked out. It was a great day to work out today. Every day is a good day to work out in my book. So, what does that have to do with week 8? Nothing. Just my way to say hi. And we are 2 weeks away from the end of the semester and winter break. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about seeing this class come to an end. And not because I want you to go away, I don't, but because it's just a natural course of things. And we are, you know, chugging quickly to the end. So what I wanted to do is follow up what I said last week. Because the thing I said I was going to show you this week, and I will, before that, I'm going to just one more time look at the calendar. But the thing I want you to know is how to answer that all important question. How do I get the specific grade that I'm interested in getting in your class? Right. And, right. How do I do that? Well, Canvas allows you to answer this question yourself. And I suspect some of you already know this, but I suspect some of you do not. And so if you ask me, I'll say, "Did you watch week 8?" And therefore you'll know because it is a really good thing to understand how to answer this question for yourself. So before we get there, though, just a look at the calendar just to show you I'm not kidding. It is the day after Thanksgiving, and I'm recording for the week we're coming into. And here is that Access lab test. And let me say this, just like the other lab test, my friend Robert DeVoe Peterson gives some help. So if you do Robert DeVoe Peterson this time Access exam, you will find this one, okay, that you can check out. I believe this one is the one you can check out to help you with this. And this is also that all important time to have Microsoft Access on your system. Mac students, hopefully you've been listening to me and aren't trying to do it the day of, because that's a little challenging. If you are trying to do this and you realize, oh, I don't have access, see if you can find somebody with it, would be a good outcome. Okay, so this day 29 is also probably what I would say is one of the more dense days. And I know it comes after the holiday, so, but it's just the way it is on a 9-week class. So that you have not only a lab test, but a quiz, a PowerPoint, the My IT lab, which I'll just give you the heads up. We don't do a lab test for My IT lab. And then you also have a discussion about social media, which is maybe why I was talking about social media before. Okay. And then on Thursday, you'll have your last discussion, which is course feedback. And I don't grade you, just to be clear. I don't think anyone would think this. I don't grade you on positive, meaning better grade. It's really about just your writing about what you found that you know, and feedback for me, because feedback is important to me. It's important to me that students have their voice heard and that I take it into consideration when I set up classes, because I do try to give you a good experience and that is always my goal, but I'm always open to, hey, maybe I need to tweak something else. And by the way, just FYI, as of right now, I don't have a CIT 15 on the schedule for the spring 2022, but that could change. If you're on Discord, you could always ask me after the class is over. Okay, so rolling into this is the items we were just looking at. So what this means is after this week, there's only 2. Okay, The JavaScript lab, which I will talk about, but there's a video for basically how to do this, right? So this is, and actually the videos in here, all students um, watch anybody, any student taking CIT 15, which is a lot of students, not just you all, but they all get to watch videos from me now too. Oh, the joy. Okay, so that's a little bit of coding that you get to do in a web form, and I love this because if you're like if you do this lab and you're like, you know what, I kind of like this, consider taking my CIT 93 JavaScript class next semester, or not 82, my web development class. So, and then the final, of course, right? And as I've told you, I've already released this into my IT lab. You'll take it over in my IT lab. You'll complete it over there. You'll create the PDF very much like you do all the lab tests, and you place it in here to show it it's worth 150 points as well. Okay, so understand that. Now, if you want to, and this kind of starts to lead us into, so let me just actually go look real Oh, I didn't mean to go there, but that's okay, right? So what you could look at is like overall, if we go look at syllabus, one of the thing about the syllabus is it gives you that breakdown of how things are graded as far as percentage of your overall grade. So that finally counts for 10%. All of these practical exams, and this is your lab test, are 15. Your labs, which is your just my IT training and exams, are 30, and you can see how it plays out from there. Okay, so here's what I was here to show you. I'm going to go to grades now because, oh, actually, I'm not. Pause, pause, pause. Okay, I'm not. Because what I need to do is one little trick that you don't have to think about is I changed my view of the course to be student view. So this is what you see, not what I see. And when I come in here, this is no one's specific grade, but this is how your grade book functions. And I just post stuff in here. This obviously is a horrible grade of 13%. So at this point, if this was really a student's grade, you might wonder, can they pass? And the answer is depends on how much time you have and how much work you can get done. Because at this point, if you have any item, okay, any item in here, you can click on it and it will open up and let you edit that item. And then what you'll have to ask is out of how much, right? So, like discussions are worth 20 points. If you're posting them late, the most points, if you do everything, is 15. So what happens is once you enter this number, then this calculation over here is actually, this is not your official grade, this just shows. So what you can do is go through and any work that you haven't done, you can do this by, and it'll ask the what if. Now, one area you might want to ask the what if is either the last grade, the final, right? The item, what you would get on that, right? So let's say if I thought I could get 100 out of 150. But again, I would have to have filled out everything, which is totally doable, right? My past students had to actually create a spreadsheet to do this, which I think is good too. But what you can see is this starts changing so that you can say, what kind of grade can I get if I either do late work or based on my future work that I'm going to do in Rio's class. And once, okay, so A, that's the way you do it. Okay, so you come through here. Remember, attendance posts do not count towards your grade. They are just for my reporting and just for you to check in. I'll just tell you a little secret right now. The quizzes, I actually do not discount as far as this 25%. So getting them done late won't hurt you as far as your score, but your discussions, your labs, your lab test, okay? Where's that at? Somewhere in there. Here it is. The first one, your lab test. All those are discounted 25%. So you just have to figure out what points possible. Now, the lab test is pretty easy because it's 100 points possible. And if you're doing it late, that means the max points you could get is 75, right? Assuming you got 100%. of the points, then 100% at that point is 75 points. So I just want you to know how to calculate that and answer those questions because they are great. And hopefully you are looking at my feedback, which is over here. And I know some of you are because we have whole conversations in there about grades, which is totally great. All right. So you got it? You cool? You understand the information that I'm throwing down? Okay. So you can answer that question. Rolling into week 8, we have a pretty solid week of work here. And then immediately week 9, the last week of the class, right? Slows down. But the two items that we have left are important. One is a little bit of a coding experience with JavaScript, and the other one is the final. So remember that final due Thursday night is also, hopefully you're saying this with me now, is also the last time you can submit late work to me. Okay. So when I wake up Friday morning, the 10th of December, I finished grading, which by the way, don't wait that long if you can, if you have an option not to, because you can at this point in week 8 already finish out the items because everything is available for you to post. The only thing I have left to produce is week 9 attendance, which I will do next week. So you have everything you need to complete this course now. And you might want to, because I suspect most of you have other classes that you're trying to juggle. The end projects or just your timeline or all these things combined. I have no idea what it is you face, but you do, right? That you know what you need to do. So if you know you can work ahead, it will be very helpful. Okay, so I hope this information was helpful. I almost wanted to say handy, but helpful to you. And again, any questions you would have for me related to this content would be awesome, right? Like anything about the way the class ends, the what if, the next semester, right? Rate your professor. I always appreciate students posting their feedback to other students. Now that you all just finished, well, some of you still be finishing this, the how to choose a grade with data, right? Some of you definitely looked, and that was part of the assignment at Rate Your Professor. So I appreciate, and I know a couple of you checked my reviews, so that's cool. So if you would like to contribute to that information for about me, greatly appreciated. And again, whatever that is, it's feedback for future and students. And I always say take that stuff with a little grain of salt. One or two bad reviews does not, and actually even more than that, because you want to look at the totality of it. And when I say totality, I don't mean every review. I just mean kind of look at it at a larger perspective. And I noticed some of you in your writing did this, which is awesome. Okay, day after Thanksgiving. Wahoo! Have a great one. And I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Talk to you in the last attendance next week.